Hello guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the West Ham world. It's Luke here. I thought I'd go live today. I'm currently off on half term. Nothing to do. It's been hard to get the enthusiasm to do West Ham videos. I say it every time, every season, total respect to the guys that are banging out videos every day. And having that energy to make content. It's really mentally difficult to talk about something that's making your day and week bad. At the moment, West Ham is not a happy thing to talk about. It's not anything I get any enjoyment out of at the moment, talking about West Ham. We're a banter club and it's very difficult. And there's constant different news and spun headlines every day and every week. Today's one is about Paquetá wanting to leave in January. Do we believe it? Who knows? We know he could have gone to Villa in the summer. And then he did that Forest thing, where he put the phone, kissed the badge, put the phone down. Then he put out that thing about one more year. And then he's saying, and then there's rumours that he's going to go in January. I can't say he's played well. I can't. Some of it is him. Some of it is he's in a system where he won't look good. I think he looks up and he doesn't see anyone running in front of him, and he can't do anything. He's not putting up any trees. But again, I think it's a bit 50-50 with his performance level is not what it should be. But as I say, the system is not suiting him either. I think if we got rid of him and he wasn't replaced with someone of similar ilk and ability in terms of creativity and passing, I don't think West Ham get out their own half. There ain't no one else that looks up and tries to pass the ball forward. It's very much a sideways, backwards, safety pass. He's the only one who's trying it. That's why his passes are cut out. That's why he does lose possession, because he's trying to be attacking and he's trying to create. We'd lose all of that, I don't know what you call it, attacking intent, potentially. And then there would be no one to get the ball to Bowen. There would be no one to get it to Somerville. Yeah, like I say, and how much are we going to get from him anyway? 40 million maybe? If you're lucky, maybe 45. And then do you trust them to go and buy someone with that money? You would have to spend probably the whole of that money to go and get someone of that ability. And then someone of that price, are they going to come to West Ham? I know you look at maybe Fernandes was 40 million and we well overpaid for it. That just shows you the market we're in at the moment, that someone like Paquetá may go for 40 million, 45 million. We bought Fernandes for 40 million. And he's not, again, young, very young player. He's only 21. But he's not putting up any trees yet either. We're in a really bad situation, West Ham. Really, really bad. And then you got that takeover stuff with all Qatari people are looking at the club. Might see it as a good investment if West Ham were to go down. It's one of them that they come in, they get us back up. And Amanda Staveley and Trip Smith are showing people around. I don't believe it. I think it's just rumours that come out every year when protests are there to try and keep us quiet, to try and, dilute us a little bit. That's all I could say about that. If you have got any comments, guys, put them in. This is a live one, live interactive. I'll do a preview for Newcastle tomorrow. That's going to be a fun game as well, won't it, on Sunday? That's going to be an absolute massacre, that is, especially if he plays that midfield again. I did watch the game last night, the under-21s. Great to see Earthy back, wasn't it? A goal and an assist for him. 3-2 win against Swindon. Good test from them. There's some good players in there. There is. Earthy, I think, showed. Again, got to remember, he's been injured and that was his first game back. I think he's shown he's above that level now. He should be at least in the West Ham squad, in terms of on the bench to come on. He reminds me of Lanzini. He's got that, little low centre of gravity, got a pass on it, scores goals. Is he as good as Lanzini? Who knows? Remains to be seen. Lanzini was a very, very special player, but it definitely gives me vibes of him. Then you got Kante, who's an absolute beast of a player. But yeah, it's good. That was a positive watching West Ham for a change. You know, watching the kids play, lots of attacking intent, not just 11 men behind the ball trying to stop the opposition score, and actually trying to score to win a game. And that's a big problem with West Ham at the moment. In the comments, we've got West Ham Massive. He says, good morning, Luke. Good morning, mate. So on Sunday, I'm not going to go into the game too much, but I will say it is the sit-in protest on Sunday. After the game, I believe they want you to, well, Hammers United wants us to, you know, congregate in the Bobby Moore Lower. However, if there is a system in place where you can't get there, just stay in your seat. No matter what the score is, guys. You know, whether it's 4-5-0 down, please stay there to protest. You know, don't. And I understand if you're going to leave. I understand it. I think, you know, 4-5-0 down. Probably the weather's going to be crap on Sunday as well. West Ham will be bottom of the league. You know, it's hard. It's hard. McAllister says, morning, Luke. I saw a video yesterday saying that our worth's gone down by 400 to 500 million. What do you think? Well, what do we own, mate? You know, what do we own? The training grounds have been mortgaged, apparently, to the Hilms. We don't own a ground. We've only got 2 sellable assets in the team, in Paquetá and Bowen. So I don't see where their valuation of the club comes from, apart from on potential of buying the stadium lease out, or, you know, somehow owning that land around the stadium. Yeah, I don't know, mate. And you just want it over, don't you? You just want what that day that Newcastle had, where Mike Ashley left the club. I want it. I want parties outside the London Stadium celebrating that this man, this toxic, poisonous man, has finally left our club. But it feels a long way away. Yes, the protests are good. Yes, the petitions are good. Yes, it's great that we're united as a fan base. But it just feels so long away. It just feels like, you know, no one wants to buy us. No one wants to have that risk. And the big problem is now, with all this PSR crap, and, you know, that it's going to get even harder in the next couple of years with the even newer rules that are coming in. As, you know, like in the old days where Roman Abramovich would come in, or whoever, and spend loads of money, they can't do that anymore. So what is the attractive proposition for an owner to come in? You know, because they can't go and use it as a toy like they used to and pump £400-500 million in to buy players. Yeah, it's so depressing at the minute being a West Ham fan. It really is. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. West Ham Massive says, I'm a huge advocate for giving academy players opportunities, get them in and around the first team squad and give them it. Yeah, mate. And the thing is with me, with the academy boys as well, with a Potsy, with an Earthy, you know, players of the past, if they're West Ham as well, like they're, you know, West Ham fans, it's even more so. They know what we go through as fans. So you put them in, they'll give 100%. They'll give you legs. They give you energy. They give you no fear. I'm not saying throw all of them in at once, but I'm telling you now, how Potsy has not got a start in the Premier League this season, when there's Rodriguez, Irvine, Soucek, to name a few, that are getting in front of him in that midfield. Every time he comes on, he looks assured. He wants the ball. He's neat and tidy on the ball. He drops the shoulders, got the turn. I don't know what the man's got to do to get a start in the Premier League. I don't. And he needs to now. That the midfield we finished against on Friday, where we started looking a little bit better, Fernandes, Paquetá and Potts, that is what's got to start on Saturday. Sunday, sorry. I'm not saying it's going to win, because their midfield's the best midfield in the league as a trio. Linton, Ramirez, and Bruno. And Tonali. You know, a lot of teams struggle against Newcastle's midfield, but we will struggle a lot more if it's Irvine, Soucek, Paquetá. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get the Potts thing at all. I really do not get what the issue is with it. Carlton Cole, we're protecting him from what? What are you protecting him from? He's played league football. He's won Player of the Year. Both clubs he's been at. He looks good every time he comes on. What are you protecting him from? Put him in the bloody team. He's better than what we've got out there at the moment. Sorry. Two questions in one. Who do you think and who would you like to see come up from the youth team? Earthy, he looked too good yesterday for that level. We've seen him score in the Prem as well, haven't we? And then in that last game of the season, I think it was Moyes' last game. He's been very unlucky with injuries. He's dynamic. He scores goals. I think Kante could be given a chance on the bench. I'm not saying start, but he definitely could be given a chance on the bench. Obviously, Fearon looks special, doesn't he? But is he ready for Prem? I don't know. But yeah, there's a few there, mate. There's a few. As for Qataris, not sure they will want to pay 200 million for 25.1%, which doesn't give them controlling stakes. Yeah, unless they're buying Trip Smith's 8% as well, mate. Unless it's like a hostile takeover potentially. I think he's ready. I'd give Kante, Fearon, Golompakis, Myers and Landers a try. Look at our abysmal stats for running and walking. These boys would be up for the work rate as a minimum 100%, mate. If Nuno picks another funky 11 versus Newcastle, I will start to believe the narrative that he's trying to engineer his exit from West Ham. I think we all would, mate, then. I think if he did it 3 times in a row with that slow midfield and no striker, which is killing us, I think we'd all agree that he's trying to get out, Here's one for you. Obviously, there were the little rumours from Gonzo's video, apparently conversation with Barry Silkman, allegedly, I don't know whether it was Silkman, that Nuno doesn't have a compensation package in the first year, but it comes in the second year. Now, here's a question for you guys. I know there's only a few of us watching, but if you do watch it back, would you bomb him off now, Nuno, and go and get Brendan Rodgers in? A manager that we know Sullivan likes. I quite like him as a manager as well. He plays attacking football. Or is Brendan sort of finished now? Is he finished? I quite like Nuno. I think he's struggling because his team's not there. And I know you can sit there going, oh, how good's a manager if they haven't got the team round, and what does that say? But then, you need a team round you. You need someone who's telling you, oh, that won't work, or what about this? And, I've seen a few channels touching it that maybe, and no disrespect to them, the coaches that have been promoted are grateful to be given that opportunity, and they haven't built up that relationship with Nuno to be able to say, oh, I don't know about that midfield gaffer, or maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that. And maybe Stevie Potts thinks, he don't want to come across as like one of those nepotism, even though Freddie does deserve to start. Maybe Stevie doesn't want to go, oh, I think Freddie should be in there, mate. Because every dad would say that. No, Freddie, put Freddie in. And maybe there is a little bit of that there, that he's not being questioned, or he's not being, there's not someone to bounce ideas off that he fully trusts. And that's a problem. That is a problem at West Ham at the minute. I'm trying to think if I've read anything else, really. Not really. Like I keep saying on every video, I am going to the Burnley game because I want to be there for the march. Anytime there's a march or anything like that, I will be there. Obviously, the sit-ins and the boycotts. I bought a ticket, didn't go. Newcastle, I can't go. Too much going on with my daughter's dancing and things like that. But yeah, I will be there for Burnley. I will be on that march, and I look forward to seeing a lot of you there. I think our squad is a mix. It is such a mix of many influences that I'm not sure any manager is 100% suitable. Are these players suited for long ball, possession, counter attack? And I don't think that it's a great point, mate. And Hamish Chat, who do great videos, broke it down. And I think West Ham Fan TV did the same thing as well, where it's like you got Moyes players, you got Potter players, you've got Lopetegui players, you've got Steinem players, you've got Sullivan players. There's no, to use a FIFA word, because I'm a big FIFA player, there's no chemistry. There's no chemistry. There's too many ideas. There's too many players that are suited for this and suited for that. And I think we've well overpaid. I think that's an understatement for your Kilmans, for your Tobidos, even for your Fernandezes at the moment. For a prospect, 40 million is a lot of money. He looks like he could be a good player. And hopefully that goal gives him a bit of a boost. Hermansen, horrific signing. Fulkrug hasn't worked out. There's a lot of that. Rodriguez, terrible signing. Wasting money. A hell of a lot of wasting money. So is Rodgers better than Nuno? Not sure. I don't know, mate. I don't know. He's attacking. And he's won some trophies, hasn't he? I wonder what Potts and Robson are doing about the team selection. Why are they not saying something? That's what I said, mate. There's no disrespect to Robson and Pottsy. I love Steve Potts. But maybe they're half grateful for the position. They haven't built up the friendship and trust that Nuno had with his previous coaches that can question him, who's worked with him for years. You can see it sometimes in workplaces, where a senior leader will surround themselves with yes people. They'll get rid of the people that question them or sort of force them out. And then they'll surround themselves with yes people that are like, yes, that's a great idea. Yes, that's a great idea. When actually it's not a great idea. They're just afraid to question it. And that's where West Ham could be potentially at the moment. What we got here? I think Beryl, the tea lady, got her man sent in. Maybe they are saying something, but ultimately Nuno has the final say. Yep. Just Craig Dawson out of contract and sitting indoors. Anyone think he'd do a good job for us? I'd take him. At least he can bloody head of the ball. He might be slow, really, really slow. But is he any worse than Kilman or Tobido? Kilman, I can't stand him. I can't stand Kilman. I can't stand him. Tobido just always looks dazed and unfit. He looks like a real poisonous person as well. He looks like someone who is a bit of trouble in the dressing room. And Mav, obviously, the fact that Mavropanos is our current best defender speaks volumes. It does. It speaks volumes. Igor not even given a chance. You go on what other channels have said about him at Brighton days that he's not that good, but we haven't seen him yet. We haven't seen him to see whether he's any good or bad. I think if we can stay within 4 to 5 points of the relegation, being caught adrift, and we can get a really good centre-back in and a striker, we might stand off chance. But I think we're going to be about 8 to 10 points adrift, and I just think that's going to be too much to get back. I really do. And then what sort of signings are you getting in then? If Paquetá does go in January as well, where does that leave us? We'd be in a really, really, really horrible position. And I don't think we get out of it. I really don't. This team lacks any fight, any leadership, any idea. Could you say how we're trying to play at the moment? No, I think there's too many ideas that have been in there. There's Potter's ideas, Lopetegui's ideas, Nuno's ideas, and the players are completely confused and they're being coached to play worse. Very sad. Craig Dawson as a good coach, good shout, not as a player. I'd take Oggy as a coach as well. I would. I'd take Oggy. I'd take Les Dawson over Kilman and Tobido. Defensive coach, yeah. Does anyone think Nuno bombing James Ward-Prowse had a negative effect on players like Lopetegui got last year? Potentially, mate. Potentially. I doubt Ward-Prowse is a bad apple. I reckon he's quite a nice bloke. I reckon he's a model professional as well. Like, I bet he turns up on time, does his training, gets on with everyone. And maybe Nuno doing that has upset a few people. You know, maybe they think that's a bit harsh. I'm not saying I want him to play. And in no way did I think Ward-Prowse was doing anything good for West Ham. But I think there's a way around it. Dawson and Souček at the back. I think Souček at the back will suit Souček. Probably, mate. You haven't got to be super neat and tidy as a centre-back, have you? I know that's the new trendy thing, you know, to be good on the ball. That's a classic. I sat myself, he looks so good on the ball. Then he set him off, forgetting that the main job is to head the ball, stop that ball going in, tackling, throwing yourself in front of the ball. I think a lot of defenders nowadays are very nice and tidy on the ball, but they lack that actual defending now. You know, you don't really see an animal anymore. You know, they're few and far between now, aren't they? And we need it. We need one. We need a leader. Who is them leaders? Who are they? You know, I put it in a chat the other day. Actually, I think it was it was E-Zone 20. I said to him, mate, we need to go and buy some leaders. Who are they now? Who are they? Like, who are leaders now? Where is the next Kevin Nolan? Where's the next Scotty Parker? The ones that can come through or go straight in the team and they're like, this guy's a leader of men. They don't exist anymore. I really don't want to see my centre-back making the most passes. That should be the playmaker. Yeah, and I think a lot of centre-backs now, mate, I think what it is they all think they're like Van Dijk, where they're like, they can just stroll forward and, you know, Van Dijk's got that beautiful ping in it. But Van Dijk is different, mate. Van Dijk can actually defend as well. You know, the aura defending, as they say. You know, you're running up to him and you just think, oh, I'm not going to get past him. He's got that presence, hasn't he? You know, it's all good and well being good on the ball, but you've got to be able to defend. You've got to be able to. Unless there's any more comments, guys, I think I'll probably leave it there. I just wanted to catch up with you guys, really, because it's been a while. But like I say, the main reason is not because I fell out of love with the channel or anything like that. I fell out of, at the moment, I'm not in love with West Ham. You know, that line of, you know, like what people say to their girlfriends or their wife, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. That is how it is with West Ham at the minute. I love West Ham. They're my heart and soul, you know, claret and blue blood. But I'm not in love with them at the moment. You know, that they hurt me. It's a toxic marriage at the minute with West Ham. Thing is, most of their passes are probing, they're sideways and backwards. They are, mate. Kilmer would be better as a CDM. He can bring the ball out. Shout, mate. It's a shout. It's a shout. You know, he's got that foosball experience. Maybe won't be as exposed as a centre back, and you know, could be, mate. Who knows? Could be something there. But I can't stand him at centre back anymore. Can't stand him. Right, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Things to do again. I will be back tomorrow for Newcastle preview, and then obviously Sunday after the game, I'll be back talking about that. But yeah, sad times. Can't remember who I said. Can't remember who said it. But if a centre mid has passing completion stats above 90%, they are playing too many safe passes. That's a great point as well, mate. It's a great point. You know, we all used to say it about Marquis, didn't we? You know, Marquis' great passing stats, never gives the ball away. That's because he never passed forward. I like Marquis Noble. You know, we could do with someone like that now, but the geezer never passed the ball forward. That's why he had 90% passing accuracy. Right, I'm leaving it there. Come on, you irons. Keep living. Back tomorrow for the preview. If you're watching it back, send me some comments. And thank you for everyone that's commented along in live chat. Let's go.